Hi guys, welcome to my YouTube channel. My name is Goodness John, and today I'm going to be showing us how to make a double welt pocket. So first thing I'm going to do is mark my where the pocket will be on the fabric, so on the main clothes. If you're doing this on a jacket or a trouser, depends on what you're sewing it on. So my pocket is going to be 5 inches long. So I'll just mark that on the main fabric, the main cloth, and then mark the 5 inches and draw a straight line across where the straight line will be where my welt opening will be. So I'll just mark that across, and then I'll get my two fabric that I'll be using to make the welt pocket. So one is the up and one is the bottom. It's marked 7 inches by the long one is 7 inches by 14, and the short one is 7 inches by 4. So the I've made the long one 14 inches because that's what I'll be turning to seal the pocket, so to make the pocket. But the short one will be at the top and the long one will be at the bottom. So I'm marking the same 5 inches I marked on the main cloth on the two pieces of fabric, and then I'll take the bottom one and go and sew at half an inch from where I marked to the other end. So just between the 5 inch. So I've sewn that. The next thing I'll do is sew the top piece also at the same point that I marked the bottom piece. So just where I marked the 5 inches. So I'll take that in. Mind you, I placed this on the line. So that straight line I put on the main fabric. So I'll take it and sew from where I marked for the top piece, just as I did for the bottom piece as well. Okay, so this is what it looks like. So next thing I'm going to do is so I'm just going to split it in between, and then I'll make a V at the end. So just where the 5 inch stops, I'll make a V, just making sure that my scissors doesn't cross where the stitch starts from. So it's just going to go from 1/4 inch all the way to just where the sewing started from, so where the stitch started from. If you go beyond that point, your welt is not going to come out well, so just make sure you're careful when you're cutting this piece for both sides. Okay, so this is what it looks like when I cut. This is what it looks like at the back. So that is my V. So I'll go in, as I'm starting from the bottom, so I'll push the piece in, and then fold half an inch in. So I'm just folding half an inch, as you can see here. And once I get my measurements across the whole piece and make sure it's equal, I'll turn it to the back as I'm doing here. So I'll just turn it to the back and then sew that down. So you have to do this carefully. You have to watch this carefully to be able to see what I've done. So I've just sewn this down. So I'll go and do the same thing for the up as well. So I fold it by 1/2 inch and then turn it to the back and then sew it down. So you have to be careful. And after we've sewn it down, I'll go and iron this and then push the V in and sew it. So I'm just sewing on the V. I'm not sewing anything more than the V, just on the V. So I'm starting from where it's sewn and where it goes down. So I've sewn both sides and then ironed it down. And we have our welt. So to seal the pockets now, don't forget I had 14 inch for the other side. So I'm folding it up to the top, and then I'll sew that down on the top of the pocket. So I'm just bending it and then folding and then sewing it down on the 5 inch line. And then I'll trim this out and then fold it. So I'll trim just the top layer, and leaving 1/4 inch so that I can fold the other layer, the bottom layer over it. So I'm just going to fold it, and that's how I will seal my pockets. Okay, so I have sewn this and this is what it looks like. The flap is made before the pocket is sealed. So once we make the welt, we'll measure what it is. So I've measured and it's 5 inches. So I've cut out my fabric that I'm going to be using for my flap. I cut out 6 inches. So I'm just marking the 5 inches. I put interfacing on one side and the other side of the fabric is plain. So I'm just marking out what measurement I want my flap to be. So I'm going to mark the 5 inches, which is the width, and then 2.5, which is the length. So I want it 2.5 inches long. Oh, half inch will go in. It go in, and that's where we'll tack it. So it's going to be like 1.5 inch left outside the pocket. So it's dependent on how you want it, dependent on the length, dependent on the shape you want it to be. So I want mine a rectangle. If you want it to be a triangle, you'd have to mark out the shape that you want, and then so it's totally dependent on you. Please like, comment, subscribe, turn on the notification bell so you're notified whenever I post a new video. And I hope this video is helpful and you're able to follow video. So I'm just showing different shapes that you can have. So you can have a pointed uh, rectangular kind of shape. You can have a rectangle, you can have a curves, you can have an asymmetric shape. So it's totally dependent on how you want the shape to look like. But for me, I'm going to be using a rectangle. So I'll take this and go and sew my I'll go and attach it. I'll go and sew it. So I've sewn it, and now I'm trimming off the allowance so it's easier for me to turn it to the right side. So I'm turning it to the right side. After I turn it to the right side, I will iron it, and then I'll place it into the pocket. So at this point in the welt pocket, you have to ensure that you have not attached the back of the pocket. So you just once you've made the welts, once you made both welts, you just fix the pocket, the flap into the pocket before you seal the pocket. So once you've put that in, then you turn it under and sew that across, and then you seal the pocket. So I hope this video is helpful and easy to follow. Don't forget to like, comment, and subscribe. Thank you all for watching.